Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sporting160EN. It's not a podcast, unfortunately, but I thought maybe this would be a good idea. I know a lot of you are busy when we tweet. Sometimes we tweet in the morning due to UK time, late UK time, or early US time. You know, the time zones vary for what times we tweet news. So I thought maybe we'll just do a little roundup here. Try to take around 20, 30 minutes. And I mean, if you're doing something every day, commuting home, doing some washing, whatever, you can listen to this and then be up to date with all the sporting transfer news. So feel free to let me know what you guys think in the comments on Twitter. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. That is at Sporting160EN. That's where we post all our transfer news. So make sure you go follow us there. Keep our notifications on as well, so you'll be the first to view any content. And as always, I am Sam Fonseca. Feel free to follow me on there for bad sport intakes and bad tweets in general. Now, starting off, week commencing 13th of June 2022, and we have got a lot of good stories to sort of share. So the way I'm going to start off is the top stories, so like the most requested, most well known, and then we'll go on to record reports, Ebola reports, and then Ojogo reports. And then we'll just go from there. So start with the top stories. In case you've been living under a rock, Matheus Nunes for £40 million, João Palhinha for £25 million, were rumored to go to Wolves. CMTV confirmed, quotation marks, confirmed that they were going. CMTV is usually quite an unreliable source, so there was a lot of people thinking like maybe it wouldn't happen, maybe it was bullshit. And then Record came in and confirmed that João Palhinha is in fact off to Wolves. The deal should be imminent. You know, that Record have reported it's a €20 million up front with 5 in bonuses. Fulham also tried to hijack the deal. You know, they tried to put in 18 million, but João Palhinha always wanted to go to Wolves. He respects Bruno Lage's work ethic, and he's the man for him. So, yeah, this one shook a lot of sporting fans because 20 million is not a lot of money considering we rejected 15 million in 2020 for him. CSK Moscow put in an offer and we said no, we wanted 20 at the time. And then they didn't want to do it. And now we're selling him for 20 after a league winning season, after he became Portuguese international. You know, he's had an up and down season this year, but 20 million, in my opinion, anyway, is just absolutely shambolic, really. And if Wolves managed to do that, it's a great deal for them because he's a great player. And for the Wolves fans that might be watching, might be listening, you know, you're getting a great player. One of, I think, his main attributes is that he just fights for the shirt. And I know it's a bit corny and a bit cringe to say, but like every time he's going to go for every tackle, every ball, every chance the opposition can get, you bet your ass Palhinha is going to be there and is going to try and break up their attack. So I think it's a really good deal for Wolves. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. 20 million euros up front, 5 million in bonuses. Is it a good deal? I know Wolves have taken a few of our players before and have that Portuguese contingent over there. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it might be good for Palhinha to also link up with Podence and these guys over there. You know, I think it'd be a good move for him. I think it's a perfect opportunity for him. So yeah, fair play if he goes. Thank you for everything. You know, a great comeback story from him as well. You know, loaned out to Braga. We had Cadelge and Dumbia playing. No disrespect to them too, obviously. But he was far superior, and at Braga became one of the best midfielders, if not the best in the league. And then we brought him back. He still wanted to leave. He didn't trust it. And then Amorim luckily worked him with Braga, managed to work with him at Sporting as well, and lead us to that league title, and also lead us to, you know, just greatness really. But on the Matheus Nunes front, so CMTV said it was 40 million. Record have come out and said that like it's not true. He does have interest from Man City, from Newcastle, from Wolves, just to name a few. He's had loads of suitors over the last few years. Last year, he actually rejected a move to Everton, 80 million euros. And imagine how different that would have been. Instead of being in the Champions League, he would have been in a relegation fight with Everton. No disrespect to Everton, obviously, but I think he made the right choice there. But yeah, so it says Matheus Nunes has been linked to various clubs, Newcastle, Wolves, and Man City. Man City, obviously, after Pep Guardiola came out after the game and pretty much praised him and said, you know, he's such a good player, one of the best midfielders in the world. So, my personal opinion, I think he's going to stay one more year. But remember, his release was 60 million euros. I wouldn't doubt like a Man City or even a Wolves. You know, they got that George Mendes connection. They paid 40 million for Fabio Silva. So, I mean, it's not out of the blue. And you know, Newcastle as well, money bags. Anyone could activate that release clause, and Matheus Nunes will be going. But just to confirm, Matheus Nunes has said he's very happy in Sporting. He's happy in the league. He's happy with the club, and I think he's going to stay. So he's 60 million release clause. I don't think he's going anywhere this season, but I'll be proven wrong. So those are the two main ones. CMTV is sort of 50-50 for Sporting News, but you have to remember they are owned by Cofina Media, who also owns Record, and Record is like 99% sure on Sporting News. So yeah, I think it's a good move for Paulinho. Matheus Nunes, I'm not too sure about. I think we could have got at least 30 million for Paulinho. It's upsetting, but it's how the negotiations work at the end of the day. Moving on to the other top stories. So Franco Israel, a goalkeeper from Uruguay, has signed for Sporting from Juventus. So the deal is 1.2 million for 60%. Record and Abola have confirmed. Apparently, you've got Quatted were influential in getting him to sign over, and his agent was very impressed with the Sporting project. He's going to take over João Virginia's role, who's gone back to Everton. So yeah, I think I don't know too much about the guy, in all fairness, but I don't doubt that he'll be good. And if Amorim trust him, I trust Amorim. So he's only young, so he's got that room to grow. Maybe if Adan starts to be a bit shaky in his last few seasons or last few games, then Franco Israel can come on. I'm sure he's going to be starting in the Tassa and Tassa Liga and maybe some Champions League / Europa League games if we get there. But yeah, 1.2 for 60%. I mean, Juventus obviously we're going to have a percentage in a young players deal, so it's not the end of the world, I don't think. But 1.2 million for 60%. I'll take it. He's highly rated apparently among other Juventus and Uruguay fans. So it's done deal, confirmed. It should be announced by the end of next week. Other news, other top stories. Jesus Pogba Alcantar, I believe that's how you say it, is Mexican. He's 18 years old and he's a centre back. He's signed for Sporting from Mexican team Necaxa. I believe that's how you say it. He's going to go to the B team. He's currently on the under 20s with Mexico at the CONCACAF under 20 tournament. Should be announced after July 3rd, which is the end of that tournament if Mexico manage to get all the way. So yeah, two young signings definitely in regards to the future. I don't think we'll see much of Jesus Pogba Alcantar. It's going to be like a Jose Mar situation. He might make the bench a few times, but I don't think he's going to start or play any games unless it's like a massive rotated team in like a Tassa Liga or Tassa Portugal or something like that, just for him to get his footing. But he had some other suitors. Wolves were the other team interested. So I mean, he's definitely got market. So maybe he's again. I can't claim to watch Necaxa or Mexican football, so I can't really comment on it. But if you guys know, feel free to let us know on Twitter or even in the comments of this video. So yeah, that's it for the top stories, I believe. I've just got everything written down. Yep. So we're on to the other news now. We'll start off with Record. If you're new, basically, to Portuguese football, or you're not sure, Record is like 99% reliable for sporting news. If they report it, it's pretty much guaranteed to happen. They've had a few hit and misses, but like they're the most reliable ones for me anyway. I think for most Sporting fans anyway. I think Danny and Chris would agree. Starting off, so Sporting are looking to sign both Trincao and Samuel Lino. So this one was caused a bit of confusion amongst Sporting fans because the headline did say that they were going for both of them, but all it's been in the news so far is Trincao. Lino is sort of rumor died off. He's recently moved to Atletico Madrid for 7.5 million from Gil Vicente and was loaned back to Gil Vicente from January onwards, but now he's back at Atleti. I don't think Diego Simeone has plans for him, so it might be that he goes to another Portuguese club. I can see him go to a Braga, to be fair. Even a Benfica reporter could deal with someone of his quality. I think he's such a good player, and he's one of the main reasons Gil Vicente got Europe and just so good. So if Sporting managed to bring him in, Trincao, great business. But speaking of Trincao, so this has been the story that's been dominating Portuguese press in Sporting's case. So Trincao wants to join Sporting, but Barca and Sporting haven't agreed a wage split or a fee after the loan. So Sporting want a loan to buy, and Barcelona are fine with that. But I think Barcelona being reported that they want 25 million, and Sporting want to lower it down to 20 or 18, 17, something like that. And they haven't agreed on the split of the wages. Barcelona are on a huge amount of debt, so they're looking to get rid of anyone sort of like a high asset to get some money back and get rid of some wages. So I think that they probably want Sporting to take more than they give, which is going to be a bit difficult knowing our wage structure. And Veranda said he's not going to budge on this wage structure. He didn't budge for Slimani, but he's not going to budge for Sarabia if he comes. But he said, Trincao is coming in, but he has to come in on our terms. So I think that deal is definitely progressing, but this is going to be one that drags on until sort of the final days. I think it's going to be one that's probably going to be done like August 31st. Like I think Vinagre was rumored for ages last year and didn't come in until sort of August. So I think that's the time when Trincao probably comes in. But the player wants it. Like he played with Amorim back at Braga when he got that transfer, so he's got a connection with the player. Connection with the manager. So that definitely works in our favour. Anyway, so next piece of record news is that Daniel Braganza wants more game time. Had 36 appearances, but only 10 starts. He's a George Mendes client, so that means he could probably go on that carousel that we speak of, maybe on loan to Nottingham Forest, Valencia. He can go anywhere to Wolves potentially. But I think the kid has his fair concerns. Only 10 starts, 36 appearances. On the face of it, doesn't look that bad, but then it's like 10 starts. And, Matheus Nunes, Palhinha have been, I wouldn't say they've been bad, but have had really bad spells of form where you thought Braganza could come in. And even when Braganza started, I remember 2 games, he got 2 man in the match awards and then didn't start for a long time apart from that sort of Ajax game, like when we were already losing. Or already through to the Champions League and like Taça de Liga, Taça Portugal. So he didn't really come in and start. So I think his concerns are fair. And if he's okay to come off the bench next year, I mean, fine. But I think Amorim's going to have a problem in his hands. Like I said, George Mendes' client is going to want what's best, and that's probably going to be a move. I don't think a loan move will be out of the cards as well. I know he spent a time at Estoril. He might go back there. I could see that happening, or he could go abroad, sort of follow the Thiago Tomas route and get some more game time out there, get some more notice. So, yeah, Daniel Braganza, that will be one to watch, I think, wherever he stays, wherever he goes, whether it's a loan or permanent. There were some inklings to Ajax, but that wasn't like a record, a Boller or Jogo. That came from the Netherlands themselves. I can't remember what source. But no other teams have been interested from what record or any of the other magazines or newspapers say. So the story that came today was Sporting want to buy more of Ugarte's pass. It currently, I believe, is 50%, and they want to buy another 20%, which obviously pushes that to 70%. Then as the year goes on with competition bonuses, hopefully Champions League bonuses, if not Europa League and league bonuses, and more player sales, we can get more percentage of him. You get that 100%. And Atletico Madrid have been interested. Record reports that also. So as soon as we get that 100%, then we can sort of get a better fee. Because you have to remember, even with the pot deal, 50% goes to Famalicão, and if we keep the same way, we're going to be providing Famalicão for years to come. Pot's probably going to go for 30 million, so that's 50 million in Famalicão's pocket. Ugarte 40 million, that's 20 million in Famalicão's pocket. So hopefully we can get more of his pass and get that done. Next topic, Algeria manager is currently concerned with Slimani's playtime. Fenerbahce, obviously George Jesus now manages, is interested in Nottingham Forest as well, newly promoted. Both teams I think Nottingham Forest have the more money after being promoted, but Fenerbahce is sort of rebuilding under George Jesus. And obviously Slimani enjoyed his best season under George Jesus, so I think it's definitely something we can see. But he had a torrid spell for Fenerbahce last time he was there, and the fans aren't really too fond of him. When I tweeted that out earlier, we got a few Fenerbahce fans talking about it. So that's also one to look at, keep an eye on. He's definitely not playing for Sporting again. That's been confirmed by Verandas. It's been confirmed by Amorim, and Slimani pretty much confirmed it on his Instagram too. So definitely another one to watch out for. But I think he's gone, and he should probably be gone soon. The fact that the Algerian manager is sort of pressing his concerns also means that Slimani won't just sit and wait for a payday because he wants to be in that team. And I think Slimani is probably going to try and force his way out, try and leave on a free. I think Nottingham Forest wouldn't be a bad shout for him as well, but he's been in the Premier League before and hadn't had the best time at Leicester and Newcastle. So, wherever they want to take another gamble on Slimani, 33, 34 years old as well, is definitely a risk. But, I think he's definitely going to go to Fenerbahce, though. I can see that happening 100%. Also a good move for him in terms of national team. Turkish League is also a very competitive league, and under George Jesus again, with his play style, Slimani will fit right in. Next piece of news is that Pedro Mendes is likely to stay at Rio Ave. There's been a story that he didn't get any congratulations from the SAD for getting promoted with Rio Ave. Hasn't spoken to Ruben Amorim since, or the SAD since his loan spell started. So, Pedro Mendes and Rio Ave did have an option to buy that, but they couldn't afford it, so they sent him back. The rumor is that we'll give them Pedro Mendes for free to get 100% of Nuno Santos's pass, and that way we own him instead of Rio Ave owning 30%. I believe it is. I believe we currently own 70. So I think Pedro Mendes, he had that one goal. I remember. I don't think he did anything else. But good luck to him. He's obviously found his groove in Vila do Conde. So he'll stay there and hopefully win some more and get Rio Ave back to where they were before they got relegated. Last record bit of news is that Jovan wants to go abroad. The big story was that Braga offered 3 million for him, but was rejected by Frederico Varandas. Jovan also wants a better league. Apparently, he wants to go abroad and sort of reinvent himself. Last season, spent on loan at Lazio, only one goal. Maurizio Sarri, who is the manager of Lazio, said he didn't even know who he was, which I'm sure is a great boost to confidence. But I don't mind Jovan, but I think his time is done here. But yeah, Braga can offer the 5 million that Sporting want. Sporting want 5 million or nothing. They're not going to budge. He's in the last year of his contract. They don't have that much negotiation power, and he's definitely not going to re-sign. So I think we've seen the last of Jovan in a Sporting shirt, unfortunately. But yeah, let me know of all those record stories. What did you think? What you were most excited to happen? What do you think is going to happen? What are your thoughts on the departures as well? Let me know. Let us know on Twitter. Let us know on YouTube. Let us know. Anyway, Abolo is up next. So again, Trincao is pretty much dominating this as well. So they said the Trincao deal was only held up by the permanent value after the loan to buy. Barcelona want 25 million. But Sporting can't afford that. Our most expensive signing in history is Paulinho, which I believe added up to 17 million plus 2 players. So, I don't think we have the capacity to spend 25 million. I know we spent money on Vinagre, but that was sort of after bonuses. But I think this one will be an option to buy instead of an obligation if a certain amount of games are played. But yeah, that seems to be the only difference in Abola's eyes anyway. Fabio Nazinho can move on to Casapia. Ruben Amorim has connections there, so he might work his magic. And I think Nazinho does need a loan spell. He played that one game against Dortmund and unfortunately was responsible for the goal. I felt a bit bad for him being put in. But, he's been at the B team for quite a while and he's been in the first team training, so he's learning. And I think a low move would be great for him. Casapia, I don't know if it's the best fit for him. I didn't watch much of second league this year, but I've been told they play good football, so it might be worth giving it a go. But if they go back down, I don't know what it does to a player's confidence, such as like Eduardo Quaresma's going down at Tondela. You don't know what that does to a player. But yeah, a good move, I think, in general. I think he definitely needs a low move, whether to the first division or second division. I think it's a good move for all parties involved. Next piece of news is a surprising one, actually, that Lazio actually want Jovan back on loan. So after Maurizio Sarri saying he had no idea who he was, apparently he impressed officials with his one goal in, I believe, 4 appearances. So Lazio want Jovan on loan with an option to buy, but Sporting want to sell as he's in the last year of his contract. So Lazio are trying to basically say, let's loan with an option to buy. Then they'll take it up and they can sign him on a free anyway. So Sporting have no interest in that. However, Lazio are interested in offering 5 million and can offer the 5 million for Jovan. And that might be Jovan back at Lazio. I don't know how his fans feel about it. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Again, let us know. But yeah, I think this is the last we've seen Jovan in a Sporting shirt, unfortunately. It's been a great hero, I would say, especially in sort of the 2020 time during the close stadiums. And that victory against Porto, I'll never forget. He was just such a great player back then. It's a shame that injuries and fitness have sort of ruined his career. Next one, Gonzalo Esteves will not be loaned out. He will stay at Sporting and is currently under Amorim's plans. So as for now, it's going to be Porro, Esgaio, and Esteves. Hopefully Esteves gets a bit more burn than he got last time. He got a few games here and there. And I think a lot of people would prefer him over Esgaio as well. So, let's hope he gets more minutes. Andres Borra is linked to Feyenoord for 5 million. They offered he linked to Feyenoord. Last year, they offered 4 million, but was rejected. 4 million might be offered again, and Sporting might be tempted to cut their losses and sell. Sporra had a pretty mixed time at Middlesbrough. He started on fire. They even had a song for him, or a chant, so to speak. And then from there, it just went downhill. Middlesbrough fans really turned him towards the end. Just Google his name or put in Twitter search Sporra Middlesbrough, and you'll see quite a lot of people just absolutely hating on him. Apparently, he was not very good towards the end of the season, especially in their promotion push, which didn't even end up happening. Didn't even make the playoffs, unfortunately. Next one, another player who hasn't played in quite a while, Luis Felipe. Chaves want him, newly promoted Chaves, obviously beating Morientes, and Morientes going down division for Chaves to come up. So Luis Felipe scored 8 goals last year for OFI Crete in Greece. He had a really bad knee injury which set back and has never been a part of Amorim's plans ever. So yeah, he's also got links to team in Greece, Japan, Turkey, and the Middle East. But he wants to stay in Europe. He believes he's still got that pedigree. He actually rejected an offer from Japan, according to another source, which we'll get into. But apparently he wants Europe, and there's a lot of clubs interested in his services. So again, I think Luis Felipe is another one out the door. Whether it's a loan or a sell, he's got a contract until 2024, so anything can happen. But Luis Felipe seems to be on the move again. Next piece of news, regardless of signing Trincao or Lino, Amorim wants one more attacker to add, whether that's a striker or a winger, it doesn't say. But I think Amorim's noticed that Paulinho has struggled a bit this year. His link-up play is good, but when you need a goal, I guess Paulinho isn't that guy. So he might be in the market for a striker, although no rumours have come up of which striker. There's been no talk of it. Sarabia has been mentioned, but he's way too far out of our price range, I think, and I don't think he's ever coming back, unfortunately. But, and I think another striker would be great for Amorim to bring in. Next, another forgotten name, Rodrigo Battaglia. Last 2 seasons in Spain, one for Mallorca, the most recent one as well. He's wanted by Sevilla, according to Abola, in a permanent transfer. I would take this with a pinch of salt. He wasn't that good in Spain this year, and if he was that good, he'd have more clubs coming after him. I don't believe the Sevilla links for a minute. I can just see him going on loan to somewhere else and probably us having to pay some of the salary again. But I've always thought Battaglia was an okay player. Was nothing good, nothing special. Was a good system player. But I mean, his salary is way too high. He's the top earner, if not, I think the top earner. He's got a contract until 2025 or 2024. So we need to cut our losses as soon as we can, really, just so we can get their wage off the books. We've got Battaglia to get rid of, Renan to get rid of, Luis Felipe to get rid of, Eduardo Enrique to get rid of, Thiago Lori to get rid of. That is so much wages that we could free up and then spend on the transfer market if we can get rid of these players. So hopefully Amorim and Viana does a lot of sort of negotiating, try to get them out of here. Next one, Abola believes Matheus Nunes will stay at Sporting. He's flattered by interest but wants to stay and fight another season at least. So Abola are pretty convinced that he's going nowhere, and it'll be good to see if he stays. Obviously, we mentioned before that the interest is very good, and he's obviously a very good player. So, he can go anywhere, but it looks like he's staying at Sporting, at least in Abola's eyes. And the last bit of Abola news is that Matheus Reis, Tabata, and Nuno Santos will stay in the squad and are part of Amorim's plans. Bruno Tabata was rumored to go to Brazil and had rejected bids from Botafogo, I believe. On deadline day, they didn't manage to get the paperwork through for Tabata. Everything was agreed. I think Tabata took too long in agreeing, but then the deal fell through and Botafogo aren't interested anymore. So it looks like Matheus Reis and Nuno Santos were pretty much guaranteed, but Bruno Tabata, I think, staying is a good one. Very versatile, playing the wings. He played as a false 9 last year, played in the midfield as number 8. So I think it's definitely a good move to keep him on. Definitely a good Swiss Army knife type of player to bring off the bench when needed. So yeah, that's it for Abola. Next is Ojogo, which is Luis Felipe rejected offers from Japan. He wants Europe, as I mentioned earlier. So that's both Ojogo and Abola reporting that he wants to stay in Europe, although Ojogo only reported the Japan offer. So yeah, it looks like he's staying in Europe and wants to stay. Japan or Middle East will probably rule themselves out, but Middle East, they got some money bags teams over there, so never rule them out. So Luis Felipe could be staying, could be going, but he's definitely going. PSV, last bit of news, PSV wants wonder kid Jolson Fernandez. Basel have a 10 million buy option. PSV wanted to put an offer of 5 million. Sporting want at least 6 or 7 to part ways with the wonder kid. Never got cooking at Sporting, unfortunately. Played a few games off the bench a few times. Hasn't had a great season in Basel either. So maybe PSV is a good start for him. And if we're not going to play him, I guess get 7 million or 8 million before we can get losing one free. It's happened to Thiago Jalot and other players who were at the team and sort of cut their losses on a free transfer. We missed out on big money. So I like Jolson Fernandez, but it might be time for him to go. Unfortunately, that's all the time and the transfer news we have. Again, this was a trial episode, so if you do like it, let me know. If you don't, let me know as well when I stop doing this. But I thought maybe it'd just be a good thing to listen to and to catch up on all the news. You might have missed some, you might not have. But again, thank you for all the support we get on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. We really do appreciate it. Again, if you want to follow us, Sporting160_EN. That is on Twitter, that is on Instagram, that is also on Facebook. Please retweet, favorite, reply, just interact with us, and we'll retweet some stuff out. And on the next podcast in the near future, on these episodes, we'll shout you out and let us know your opinion. So good. But if you want to follow me, again, I don't have the best Twitter account. I piss a lot of people off, unfortunately, with my Paulinho takes. That's why I've got this here, the best striker in Portugal. But yeah, feel free to follow me down there if you like. And again, please let me know what you thought of this. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it meh? Do you like it? Do you like the concept? Do you prefer Danny, Chris, or even Steph doing this instead? Let me know. But again, thank you for the time. Thank you for listening. And we'll see you again soon.